crashing. Douche. Well, it's going back in the box, people. Going back in the box. Total failure of the ABS system. Actually, I think it's the graphics card. I think it's a graphics card. So when I called and mentioned the problem yet again, the person I talked to seemed to have a little bit more information. And she pretty much said, oh, sounds like the virtual RAM or the VRAM in the card. So the ABS era is a complete and total failure. This is the computer going back in the box. At least I'm smart enough to keep the boxes just. So we're going to go ahead and ship that back to ABS, get my money back, and reassess. Because I was looking at what they have, I would have, had they actually had the same computer, I would have got the same computer and have them replace it. But they didn't. They had one that was lesser, and I didn't want the lesser. That's why I waited to order this one. So I'll get my money back, and we'll see what happens. But kind of a sour taste in my mouth, to be quite honest, about this. Customer service. Now, to be fair, customer service was fantastic. They were very nice people. They were very helpful in so far as they could be helpful. But it's not like they were willing to ship me a new computer and then have me ship this one back. I have to ship this one back and then get the refund. And what they did offer is, well, if you can front the money for the new one. I'm like, I'm not fronting the money for the new one. Are you kidding me? That ain't happening. So there was no offer to make it good other than to maybe help me order a new one and front the money. They did offer me next day shipping. It's almost $4,000, guys. And that's what you're going to offer me? You're going to offer me next day shipping. So I don't know, man. I'm probably not buying from ABS again. Probably not. I'll look for another computer, I think. Well, all right. All righty, here we are in the in the coffee shop. Hope you guys are having a good afternoon. Those earlier videos were the last videos I made as I boxed this thing up. I have just returned from handing it to the UPS people at the UPS store, along with the extra RAM that they sent. So obviously I had a conversation with customer service once again, and I did say it earlier on the video. I'll say it again. Customer service was friendly and helpful, sort of. I mean, helpful insofar as they were allowed to be helpful. The thing I did not do is get ugly and scream and rant. And I promise you, if I'd have done that, I probably would have got more satisfaction. But it drives me crazy that companies kind of wait. And that's just the way it is, you know. They're not going to do anything until you start yelling. Which, I don't know. One day I'm going to find that company that actually makes things right for the customer without them yelling. I don't know where that company is. I hope it's out there somewhere. It was nice of them to offer next day, but of course they weren't going to just send me something next day. They were going to make me pay for it and then credit me the old computer when I got there. And I could do that. I could use a different card. I could, shift money around, but that just, I don't know, man. This is what I got. Actually, it's over here. As I've said, showed you guys, it had a lot of stuff going on, man. It was an i9 Rocket Lake 3.5. It had the 3080, which is what I want. 10 gig. I'd really love to get a hold of the 12 gig one. Had the Rodstrix 590E with Wi-Fi, which is a great motherboard. Had 32 gig of RAM. We'll get into that just in a second for what was offered. Had a 2 terabyte SSD, the M2 version, which I did finally find if you saw my other video. It's actually plugged into one of the PCI slots. I did not realize that. It had a nice CPU cooler. It was water cooled. It was quite silent as far as the water cooling goes. The big fans, as you can see on the front, were pretty loud, as were the 2 top fans up there. Once all 5 of those fans got going, it was actually a fairly loud rig. For the most part, though, it was pretty silent, not too bad. Corsair 850, which I think was plenty for the 3080. I never saw the CPU or the PSU draw on too much of the power of the PSU. It never really got anywhere near max capacity, so that was not a problem. I like the case. The Obsidian Series 500D was pretty cool. It had a lot of the lights. I could really care less about the lights, to be quite honest, but it was fairly cool. And they were adjustable. I didn't mess with it. I never really got to that point. It did have Bluetooth. It did have Wi-Fi, as it says. VR ready. Yeah, it's a 3080, so pretty good. So one thing they offered me was a lesser system, which had a 3070. And then I told her, hey, I want the 3080. So she found one that was about $2,400. I paid $3,500 for this. Actually, $3,800. I don't know if this discount it's showing up here. I don't know if this discount that it's showing up here is what I paid for it. I have to go look at my account from where I paid for this. I feel like I paid the actual $3,800 because I think she said that. So there's been a discount since then that I don't think I got. So I don't know. 100% satisfied, 30 days, no restocking fees, and no return shipping costs within 30. So I'm pretty close to that. To be honest, I might be slightly over, but I have been calling them, and they do have me in the record, and we went with the whole try to fix it with the RAM thing. So I think they sorted that out. That was all free. They just sent me the little return shipping thing, and I walked into UPS and handed it to them. So the one she was talking about was $2,700. She did find a 3080, but it was only 1 terabyte of storage, and it was only 16 gig of RAM. And I'm like, well, that's not what I wanted. I bought 32 because that's what I wanted, and I like the idea of the 2 terabyte. Although, interestingly, that's another $1,000 for those two things, which kind of makes me shake my head. I don't think there wasn't anything in that second one that she talked about that was $1,000 less, that was different, other than 1 more terabyte of storage, so a 2 terabyte versus a 1, and 32 gig versus 16 gig. 2 8 sticks in the cheaper one and 2 16 sticks in the more expensive one that I sent back. So that was really interesting. She did find another one that was a 3070 with a newer generation, 12th gen, I think, CPU. But I don't want the 3070. I wanted the 3080. You can see the big red thing out of stock right there. That's why I can't just get a new one, because they don't have them. As I said in my video earlier, I'm not sure I would order from ABS again. I won't say that the customer service thing was horrible in terms of the interaction with them, but it was disappointing to a large extent. So I'm going to give this thing, I don't have a rating system. I guess I need to do that, but I'm gonna rate this 2 out of 10 yos. I'm giving it 2 because it's a pretty awesome rig and it should have been great. It worked for 2 weeks, so there you go. And then that's it though. 2 out of 10 yos, man. I cannot recommend right now this thing. I don't know really what's going on with the 3000 series, to be honest. All I see is problems with it, so to be honest, I don't know where we are with that thing. I know that several other CCs have them and they're doing fine and not having an issue. So could just be Guido's capability of buying broken, expensive tech stuff, which seems to be a superpower of mine out there today, or out there now. But there you go. So 2 out of 10 ABS. Would not recommend right now. That's just from this one-off. I don't know if I'll order another one. I did say earlier I wouldn't, but it comes down to being able to find something. So now I'm back on the hunt trying to figure out how to get a computer. As soon as that money gets back into the account, then I'll start digging around and we'll figure out what the next move is on trying to grab one. It's still a problem because they're hard to find, hard to get. The cards are scarce. Like it says right there, out of stock. Can't even get to that one right now. So there you have it, man. Kind of a bummer. The good news is we are still up and running on the old 1080 GTX Ti, a fantastic card. Absolute warrior. Now that I've said that, it'll crump on me in the next week, more than likely. So that thing's been doing really well, and it's still cruising along. So we'll continue to use that thing until we get the new computer. All right, that's all I've got. We'll see you guys.